All right, let's talk about some of the most absurd military strategies in history, the kind that sounds so ridiculously dumb that you'd think they were made up by a guy who just lost a bet. But here's the thing, they actually worked. Like really worked. Armies were defeated, cities fell, kings lost their crowns. So grab your popcorn, because we're diving into the craziest war tactics that should have failed, but didn't. And hey, before we get started, drop a comment and tell me which of these is the wildest to you. 1. The time Hannibal brought elephants to a snowball fight. Picture this. You're a Roman soldier chilling on the Italian side of the Alps, when suddenly, out of the fog, an army of war elephants comes stomping through the snow. Yeah, that's what Hannibal Barca did in 218 BC. Instead of fighting the Romans head-on, he said, "Nah, I got a better idea. Let's hike over the freaking Alps with elephants." Half his men froze to death, but the ones who survived wiped the floor with the Romans. Because, let's be honest, nobody expects a surprise elephant charge in the middle of winter. And the best part, this wasn't even a one-time thing. Hannibal kept wrecking Roman legions for years after that. Absolute madman. 2. The war where soldiers became ghosts, literally. Okay, this one is straight up horror movie material. During the Battle of Pelusium, 525 BC, the Persian king Cambyses II had a brilliantly evil idea to conquer Egypt. Use cats. Yes, actual, living cats. Since Egyptians worshipped cats, Cambyses painted cats on his soldiers' shields and straight up threw live cats onto the battlefield. The Egyptian soldiers were like, we can't fight this. We might accidentally hurt a cat. So instead of defending their city, they surrendered. That's right, Egypt fell because their enemies weaponized adorable kittens. Cambyses basically won a war with a bunch of furballs. 3. The fake army that fooled Hitler. Fast forward to Defied. The Allies were preparing for D-Day, but they had a problem. If the Germans figured out where they were going to attack, the whole plan would be doomed. So they created a completely fake army to distract Hitler. And when I say fake, I mean inflatable tanks. Yes, literal balloons shaped like tanks. Wooden planes that looked real from above. Fake radio transmissions to make it seem like General Patton was leading an invasion somewhere else. And here's the crazy part, it worked. The Nazis fell for it completely and kept their forces away from Normandy, which helped make D-Day a success. Yep, Hitler got played by an army of balloons. 4. The time a wall of fire saved Russia. You ever heard of scorched earth tactics? Well, in 1812, Napoleon learned the hard way what happens when you mess with Russia. Instead of fighting the French head-on, the Russians just burned everything as they retreated. Towns, food supplies, entire cities gone. Napoleon's army marched deeper into Russia, thinking they were winning, until winter hit. And let me tell you, Russian winters are not friendly. The French troops froze to death. They starved. They got ambushed by angry Russian soldiers. By the time Napoleon decided to retreat, over 400,000 of his men were gone. Russia didn't even have to fight a proper battle. They just let Mother Nature do all the dirty work. The Viking strategy that made enemies poop themselves. All right, let's talk about the berserkers. These were Viking warriors who didn't just go into battle, they went into a full-on rage mode. Before a fight, they'd take drugs, scream like wild animals, and go into what can only be described as an ancient Norse version of Hulk mode. Arrows? Didn't feel them. Swords? Didn't stop them. Fear? What's that? These dudes were so terrifying that some enemies literally ran away before the battle even started. The strategy? Be so insane that nobody wants to fight you. And honestly, it worked. And that, my friends, is proof that sometimes the craziest strategies actually work. Now, I gotta ask, which one of these blew your mind the most? Was it the cat army, the fake tanks, or the berserkers going full psycho mode? Let me know in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed this, hit that subscribe button before I send an army of berserkers after you. Your choice.